Hello everyone, welcome back to Two Exist in Motion. My name is Jovan Tevin. Today we're going to be maximizing our jump throughs through 4 progressive stages designed to build strength, compression, and control. We'll move from structural foundations into straight leg precision so that way our transition becomes efficient and graceful over time. Let's get into it. So before we actually move on to the jump through itself, let's focus on the structural foundation that supports it. We want to be focusing on creating a deep protraction through the upper back and shoulders while maintaining even weight distribution through your hands. So from here, we're simply going to start back into a tabletop position, just making sure the wrists are completely stacked underneath the shoulders, ensuring that your index fingers are parallel to each other. We're going to want to make sure that our shoulder blades aren't collapsing into each other, elbows aren't splaying out. Simply pressing through the hands, roll the eyes of the elbows forwards first as you pull your sternum up into the sky, creating a rounding in your upper back. This is the first half of your high plank position. From there, you're simply going to curl the toes under, engage the knees and legs, finding yourself into a full high plank. We're going to take a deep inhale here, ensure that you're pressing through all 10 fingers. Really feeling that rounding in your upper back. Feeling compression in your upper abdomen and chest. Let's try to keep this integrity through the arms. Exhale, when ready, press back into downward facing. Inhale back to high plank. Keep the compression present through the chest and shoulders and upper back. Exhale to hold. Inhale, stay. Exhale back to downward facing. Keep the integrity of the arms. Inhale back to plank. Maintaining the protraction. Exhale to hold. Inhale again. Exhale, press back, downward facing. Inhale, return to table. Exhale, make your way into a comfortable seat. So this is going to be the foundation, or just the technique that we're going to want to maintain, especially as we go and explore any further variations. So making sure that we're feeling that sensation of having full support, not only through our arms, but as well as our upper back. We're going to want to make sure that we're feeling that the entire time before we move on. All right, so stage 1. So as we focus on stage 1, it's simply going to be all about learning the pathway without speed. So we're going to be starting in a downward facing dog position, slowly transitioning our weight into a nice high plank position, finding that firm high plank as we begin to pull the feet in, lowering ourselves down into a seated position with as much control as possible. This is simply just focusing on building endurance and awareness. So from here, let's exhale back into a downward facing dog position. Just finding the integrity of the arms, making sure that the index fingers are parallel to each other, pressing the earth away. Gently pressing through the toes. Inhale, find your way into a firm high plank position. Opening through the upper back, rolling the eyes of the elbows forwards. Beginning to step one foot into the opposite wrist, shifting the shoulders over the wrist to put more weight into the arms. We're going to take the opposite foot in. My bum is high as I'm pressing down through my feet, but weight is still into my arms. As I keep my chest forwards, I'm lowering my bum down with as much control as possible, extending my legs out completely straight. There we have it. So that's our first demonstration. I'm going to do it one more time, just focusing on breath, and I'll do a third demonstration without any breath at all. So from here, exhaling back into downward facing. On your next inhalation, make your way into a high plank. Exhaling to draw the feet in, keeping the shoulders forwards, lowering everything down with control, extending the legs out. Amazing. Last time. There is our stage 1, learning the pathway without speed. And the emphasis here is simply a controlled descent. All right, so stage two. Stage two is going to be introducing agility while maintaining our structure. So instead of stepping in and then lowering ourselves, we're going to be starting to jump up, catch ourselves, and then lower ourselves into a comfortable seated position. So from here, we're going to exhale back into downward facing dog. Checking to make sure index fingers are parallel, rolling the eyeballs forwards, really pressing the earth away, shoulders high up into the ears. This is where we're going to want to start using more of our legs and not changing much in our arms as we begin to create said agility. So from here, I'm going to inhale, toes lift, bend the knees, gaze forwards, going to jump, pull the feet into the wrist. My shoulders are forwards over my wrist. I'm catching myself as I protract through my upper back. Then going to exhale and lower down with as much control, extending the legs out. Bam. So that's a slower version of just that jump action, but we want to jump, cross, and catch. Jump, cross, and catch. Just repeat it over and over again. Simplify it as much as you need to. There is going to be a lot of weight in the arms, and there is going to be a lot of resistance through the arms as we start to create this jumping action. So let's do it one more time with cues. Exhaling back into a downward facing dog position. When ready, inhale, toes lift, gaze forwards, going to jump, cross, lower with control, extend the legs out. Here you are, into your seat. My final demonstration, I'm simply going to demonstrate it without using my voice. All right, so there is our stage two, where agility is added and control becomes the goal. All right, so here we are, stage three. So stage three is all about creating aerial compression or just developing aerial compression over time. With this, the goal is trying to get our hips as high as we can, crossing at the shins, not the knees, crossing at your shins to become as small as possible, finding that catching feeling where you can create and use compression all the way down into your seat. So the previous step in step two is all about finding that catching feeling. In order to create aerial compression, we're going to want to be able to immediately catch ourselves. So if we're going up into handstand, which is going to be the highest that we could possibly go, then of course we're going to be able to catch ourselves. But if I don't go all the way up into a handstand, then I'm going to find myself having to catch myself or anticipate myself catching just a little bit sooner than I would think. So when it comes to aerial compression, really make sure and don't be afraid to use your legs. Your legs are so powerful. That's what's actually going to help us to get the hips as high as we possibly can. So don't be afraid to pounce. So for our aerial compression demonstration, let's exhale back into a downward facing dog. Index fingers parallel, pressing the earth away, shoulders reaching into the ears. Really trying to open my upper back as much as possible, creating that protraction immediately. Keeping the integrity of the arms, I'm going to inhale, toes lift, gaze forwards, lift my bum up, cross at the shins, lower myself with control, pressing the earth away, becoming small, bringing the bum down without crashing. So there is our aerial compression jump through into a controlled seated position. I'll demonstrate that one more time. This time I won't try to go as high as I normally did. I'll show you what it's like to kind of anticipate. You'll notice that my shoulders may go a little bit forward so I can get that catching sensation. For this next demonstration, I'll use my voice to cue it out, but I won't aim my tailbone to hit that handstand position where I can find a gentle pause. So exhaling back into downward facing. Integrity of the arms is present. Focusing on legs. Inhale, toes lift, gaze forward, lift the bum, cross the shins, round, 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 round. Brush through, lower with control. Here we are. Amazing. So there is our aerial compression. I'll do one more, just focusing on the movement without using my voice where you can just hear my breath. All right, there is our stage 3, aerial compression. And there we're simply just learning that, oh, compression is actually what's guiding this. This is what's creating that sense of fluidity and gracefulness as well. All right, stage 4. So stage 4 is simply going to be focusing on straight leg precision. This is where we're really going to be finding the balance between strength and flexibility. A lot of strength through our shoulders and arms and abdomen as we are continuously pressing the earth away, but a lot of flexibility in our hamstrings. This is basically a moving forward fold, and we're using a lot of compression to be able to pull ourselves into such flexibility. I'm going to demonstrate 2 different variations, one where we're aiming the hips very high, and one where we're just simply trying to shoot the feet through. I'll show you high first, then show you low, and then I'll go back into doing my final demonstration without cueing with my voice. So from here, as always, stepping back into a downward facing dog, finding the integrity of the hands and the arms, putting all the power and control into our legs first before jumping. Inhale, toes lift, gaze forwards, lift the bum high. Flex the feet, pull through, lower down with as much control as possible. All right, there is our straight leg position. And with that, you'll notice that there's a lot of action going on with the feet. So I'm pointing, flexing, pointing. So my feet are very active the entire time. They're not something I'm ever really forgetting about anytime my feet are coming off the earth, or actually when they're staying on the earth as well. Second demonstration to show you the quick and lower way of pulling the feet through. But once again, I feel like this requires 10 times more agility and a lot of flexibility as well. So exhaling back into downward facing. This time I'm not thinking about jumping so much. I am using my legs, but I just want to drive my feet through as I flex them through to point them back out again. Inhale, toes lift, bend the knees, drive the feet through, lowering with as much control as possible. And there we have it, our stage 4, straight leg position, lowering. I'm going to do the high one more time, but this time without talking. Exhaling back into downward facing. All right, straight leg position, stage 4, done. Now I would say stage 4, this is more of an optional refinement that you can choose to do in your practice if this is something you want to do. But once again, not 100% necessary. And across all 4 stages, the common principle is just really going to be about lowering with as much control as possible, but also finding that catching feeling before we can lower down with all these stages. I encourage to avoid rushing or collapsing at the end of your transition, no matter what kind of transition you're doing, but specifically for jump throughs. Body proportions can influence how accessible this transition feels. However, regardless of limb length or torso structure, the same techniques are going to apply. And one final training note, I would say something that I have just always taken with me from cheerleading in gymnastics is the beautiful 72-hour rule. So whether you're learning or training something new, especially when you're using your physical body, we want to make sure that we're at least not taking more than 72 hours off of whatever it is we're learning. After 72 hours, we tend to lose that muscle memory. We're going to want that muscle memory every time we approach and meet whatever it is that we're learning and doing. And also with the 72-hour rule, it just keeps this process of discipline without necessarily being so rigid. So it creates a lot of softness as well. Amazing. So this concludes maximizing our jump throughs. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. And please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or concerns. I'd be happy to answer. Yeah. I hope you have a great day wherever you are, and bye.